All right, come sit down, sweetheart. Pull that blanket up and let me tell you something the world doesn't say out loud anymore. This isn't just a story. It's something folks usually only learn when life has already worn them thin. Now, I want you to imagine a woman named Claire. Claire lived the kind of life people admire from a distance. Big house in the suburbs, 2 cars in the driveway, children in good schools, a career that looked impressive on paper. If you'd asked anyone, they'd say, she has it all. But what people don't see, well, that's always where the truth lives. Claire spent most of her life chasing the best neighborhood, the best school district, the best organic groceries, the best version of herself. And honey, chasing the best is one of the most exhausting things a person can do. Every decision felt like it carried the weight of her worth. Every comparison made her feel just a little behind. There was always someone doing better, someone thinner, richer, calmer, happier. One evening, after a long day, Claire sat in her car in the driveway and didn't go inside for 20 minutes. Not because she was lazy, because she was tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. And that's when it started, the quiet unraveling. Now, Claire had a little habit. Whenever life felt too heavy, she'd go shopping. Oh, nothing wild, just a little something. A new throw pillow, a kitchen gadget, another pair of shoes she didn't need. And for a moment, she'd feel better. That little rush, that wasn't happiness, that was relief, like putting a Band-Aid on something deeper. But the funny thing about relief is it fades. And when it fades, the emptiness comes back louder. One day, her credit card bill arrived and she stared at it, not in panic, but in realization. She wasn't buying things, she was buying moments of escape, and they were getting expensive. Now listen closely because this part matters. Claire had built herself an identity like armor, successful professional, perfect mom, put together woman. But armor is heavy, dear, and one by one, life started removing those pieces. Her job changed, her kids grew more independent, her social circles shifted, and suddenly she didn't know who she was without all that. She stood in front of the mirror one morning and thought, if I'm not all these roles, then who am I? That question scared her more than anything else, but it also set her free. You see, Claire always thought she was moving forward, promotions, bigger house, more achievements. But one quiet Sunday, sitting alone with her coffee, she realized something. She had been running, but not necessarily going anywhere meaningful. Like being on a treadmill, lots of effort, no real arrival. That's when she began to wonder, what if progress isn't about more, but about less? Less noise, less pressure, less pretending. That thought felt radical, almost rebellious. Now this one took time. Claire had a habit of scrolling through her phone, looking at other people's lives, perfect vacations, perfect homes, perfect bodies. And every time she felt a quiet sting. Comparison, my dear, is a thief that doesn't knock. It just walks right in. One day, she did something small but powerful. She turned it off. Not just the phone, but the habit. She started catching herself. That's their life, not mine. And slowly, the envy lost its grip. Not overnight, but steadily, like a dimmer switch being turned down. Now comes a tender part. Her children grew up, as they do. They left for college, for jobs, for their own lives. And the house... oh, it got quiet, too quiet. At first, she thought she missed the noise, but what she really felt was something deeper, a void, because for years her purpose had been wrapped around caring for others, and now she had to learn how to care for herself. That's a hard lesson, sweetheart, harder than people admit. Now here's where things begin to change. Claire didn't add more to her life. She started removing things. She said no more often. She stopped attending things out of obligation. She simplified her home. She let go of perfection. And something surprising happened. She didn't feel like she was losing. She felt lighter, like setting down bags you didn't realize you were carrying. Responsibility once felt like purpose, but now she discovered something gentler, peace. Claire used to think her legacy would be achievements, status, what people said about her, but over time she began to see it differently. Her children didn't need a perfect mother, they needed a present one, a calm one, a peaceful one. And when they visited, they noticed the change. "Mom, you seem different." And she was, not louder, not more impressive, just softer, more real. And that, my dear, is a legacy people carry in their hearts, not on paper. Now listen carefully, because this is the heart of it all. For years, Claire had been postponing joy. I'll relax when things settle down. I'll be happy when I achieve this. I'll enjoy life later. Later, later, later. But later has a way of never arriving. So one morning she did something simple. She sat outside with her coffee, no phone, no rush, just the sound of birds and the warmth of sunlight. And she thought, why have I been saving this? Joy isn't something you put on layaway. It's something you allow right now. So here's what I want you to take from this, sweetheart. Freedom doesn't always come from gaining more. Sometimes it arrives quietly, accidentally, when you begin letting go. Letting go of the need to impress, the pressure to keep up, the identity that no longer fits, and the idea that happiness is somewhere else. Because it isn't. It's here, in the small, ordinary moments. Now, if I were sitting right next to you, I'd take your hand and say this: don't wait until life forces you to slow down. Choose it. Don't wait until everything is perfect. It never will be. And don't measure your life by how full it looks. Measure it by how peaceful it feels. Because in the end, that's what people remember. And more importantly, that's what lets you finally breathe. Now go on, sit with that for a while, and if you ever feel lost in all that noise out there, just remember Claire. She didn't find freedom by chasing it. She found it by letting go. Now, sweetheart, before you go, come a little closer. I want to hear from you. You know, stories like Claire's aren't just stories, they're mirrors. And I have a feeling somewhere along the way, a piece of her felt familiar to you. Maybe it was the exhaustion, maybe the quiet emptiness, maybe that feeling of chasing and chasing, but never quite arriving. So tell me, my dear, have you ever felt tired in a way that rest didn't fix? Have you ever bought something hoping it would make you feel better and it didn't last? Or maybe you're in that season right now where life looks fine on the outside, but inside something feels missing. I'd truly love to hear your story. Go ahead and share it down in the comments. You never know, your words might be exactly what someone else needs to feel less alone. And if this story sat gently in your heart, if it made you pause, reflect, or even take a deep breath you didn't realize you needed, then do me a small kindness, dear. Tap that like button so more people can find this message. Subscribe to stay for more stories like this one, slow, honest, and meaningful. And share this with someone who might be quietly carrying too much. Because sometimes the right story at the right time can change the way a person sees their whole life. And if you decide to stay a while here with me, well, I've got plenty more stories to tell.